And welcome to another unexpected episode of Monday Movie Pickup. It has been a while, I guess, but I got some good stuff, including right here I have Antz, which is great because we were just talking about Antz a couple episodes ago. I wasn't sure if I could even find Antz because it wasn't available on Amazon anymore. It started being sold for crazy prices on eBay, but sometimes that can mean because the film is out of print, or sometimes it's because the listing was removed and a lot of people on eBay take advantage of it. Well, this was an instance where people were taking advantage of it. I waited, and it showed up on Amazon again. There were many people on YouTube who also let me know about it, so thank you so much for reminding me. It's great to get those comments because as soon as I got one, I went to Amazon and I bought it right away, so I'm very happy to have this. It looks like it's the same special features as the DVD, but again, it's just nice to own all of the DreamWorks films on Blu-ray, and I actually only need to get a couple of the newer ones, so I don't quite have them all yet, but I have their first film. And then I have some musicals here. So this is from Warner Brothers. This is kind of an interesting release. I found this at a Dollar General, which it's pretty hit and miss at those stores as far as their Blu-ray selection, but sometimes you find something great, and this is good. This is a lot like what Warner Brothers was releasing a couple years ago. I think like from 2013 to 2015, they were really trying to do these kind of special collectible sets, which it's just a really nice chance to get a bunch of different films all in one set. The Bandwagon, Calamity Jane, Kiss Me Kate, and Singin in the Rain, which I already owned previously. But what's nice about these releases is that you can get all these other films. I'd love to get into old school musicals, and they don't usually slack off on the special features for these releases. I have a couple different releases that are similar to this. I have a Hammer horror set that basically uses the same kind of packaging. I have a sci-fi set. They don't go weak on the special features either. They usually have the same special features you would find on their separate releases, or if it's never been released separately, they still have good special features. So it's a really nice set to have. I only got one film from that I've been needing to get as an Oscar winner, Shakespeare in Love. This is kind of a more, I think, a weaker winner of the award. I think this was one that a lot of people said it only won because it had a crazy campaign to win, and then it worked out. But it's probably not that good. This is like the epitome of Oscar bait. That's all I've ever really heard about it, but I guess I'll just put that in my group right now. So still slow and steady. That was one of the cheaper films to buy, and I guess I held off on it for so long because I had the VHS, but I also need to upgrade those VHSs, so I guess it was about time. I have Blinded by the Light here. This is a great film. I really had a lot of fun watching this movie, and I only ever saw it in theaters, but I'd like to watch it again. It's kind of a semi-musical, but for the most part, it's just the characters singing Bruce Springsteen, and also, there's even some like lyrical moments in there where like the lyrics literally appear on screen. It's super cool, and takes place during, I believe it was the late 80s. Yeah, so 1987, and I was maybe confusing that with the 90s, even though Springsteen is definitely a 80s singer, but it's a really interesting movie, and if you haven't seen it, I recommend it, especially if you're a fan of Springsteen, which, gotta say, that movie made me realize again that, I actually am kind of a Springsteen fan. A bunch of different releases from Warner Brothers. This is Ace Ventura, and Ace Ventura When Nature Calls, and this was just a release that for many years was very expensive for pretty much no reason. There was actually a different release similar to this one that was done in the UK, and like a lot of Warner Brothers releases that are done in the UK, they're region free. I think there was some confusion there because I think that release maybe went out of print, but then everyone assumed that they were all out of print, so then this went up for a really high price for basically no reason, but recently it did go back down in price. So I watched those Amazon links a lot. I mean, I had the first film on VHS for many years, and it was due for an upgrade, but I wanted to get both films together, and I don't really understand what happened. It just this is just a weird case where one day it finally was fixed. I mean, they fixed Antz too, so maybe they just restocked everything recently. I don't know. Hey, a Forbidden Planet here, which kind of the reason I got this actually was because there's a film on here called The Invisible Boy, which is slightly based on The Invisible Man. And I've been kind of thinking about doing an Invisible Man video. I love the Universal horror films that feature the Invisible Man, and I've been kind of curious to watch some of the other adaptations, especially, the most recent one, which was released in 2020. That was one of the best movies of last year, so I'm a big Invisible Man fan, and I'd like to check out more stuff. And actually, that's not even it. I actually have another thing here. This is the Invisible Man Complete Series, which is kind of cool. Once again, this was kind of out of print. From my understanding, it probably is out of print for sure, but the Amazon link for many years was very expensive, and recently I was able to find it for around $16, so very good day. This is the show that actually was shown in the 50s. This is, I wish they actually showed the year, it says the 1950s. It doesn't say the exact year it came out, but there's actually another show titled The Invisible Man, and there might even be another one, but for sure this was, I believe, the first one titled The Invisible Man, and I think it is the most similar to the style of the Universal films. Not that it had anything to do with Universal. I mean, The Invisible Man is a public domain work, so I got the TV show, I got The Invisible Boy. I'm going to keep working to get some different Invisible Man things, but in the meantime I also got Forbidden Planet, which is a very famous sci-fi film, mostly for that robot right there. And I don't know, it's about time I complete some of the must-see sci-fi films of the 1950s. I have Drunken Master 2, which actually, and if I find it quick, I have Drunken Master 1. And this is where I got a little confused, because, a lot of films that Jackie Chan does, they get a different title in the States. So when I saw that Warner Archive was going to be releasing Drunken Master 2, I was like, that's great. But is this the same film as Drunken Master 1, but just properly titled, or is this like a legit sequel? I don't know if there's any title changes when, these films came to the States, but I did verify it then. This is the earlier film, and this is the later one. This is not a confusing scenario like some of the other films that were released, but there is a version of Drunken Master 2 out there called Legend of the Drunken Master, and that release is actually, I believe, a dub, and that's actually got a completely different edit from this version, and that version of the film does not appear on this set. This one was actually done by Umbrella, because this is actually a film that Sony owns the rights to, but they did it through Umbrella. Again, it says it's Region B. It's not. Umbrella does that a lot, where it says, oh, it's Region B, but it's really not. You can get it, you can have it play on a Region A player, so I don't know why it lists only Region B. But then this is the Warner Archive release of Drunken Master 2. So I think I made it more confusing in my head just because there's just other martial arts films that have so many title changes once it comes to the States. So I had to verify it, make sure this is an actual sequel. I don't know a lot about Jackie Chan's work beyond what he did in America and the Police Story films. So honestly, it's a actor I admire, and I gotta get a little better versed in his earlier work. Joe Dante films, Small Soldiers. This was actually recently released on Blu-ray. It was never released for many years, and I actually found this at Walmart for only like $6, which surprised me because when I saw the Amazon link, it was a little pricier. But this is just a normal release done by Paramount, which once again, Paramount really getting out there now. Really, I've been talking about Paramount a lot on here recently, but they really are taking their time to release a lot of the back catalog that hadn't gotten Blu-ray releases for many years, and doing the work. In the time when we thought physical media was dead, Paramount's like, look who's back in the physical media game. I'm all for it. And actually, while we're at it, I have another release here. This is Fatal Attraction, which is I haven't even opened this yet, but this is the first release from the Paramount Presents line, which I've talked about a little bit on here, and I think I'm just going to start going through all the Paramount Presents movies to buy them, because there's actually a couple others that I really do want to buy, and I don't know, this seems like a fun set or collection of films anyway, and it seems like with Paramount very much getting back into the physical media game, I trust that they're going to keep this going for quite a while. I guess that's their way of saying, hey, who needs Shout Factory when we could just do our own thing? It's kind of incredible, though, that as much as it's cool that they're doing these releases, that this doesn't have a digital copy. And I don't know, I thought some of these did, but this one doesn't. And there probably are other ones that don't either, and that's kind of shocking. You know, if you're going to do a Blu-ray release nowadays, it's weird that there isn't a digital copy thrown in right away. So I also have here, anytime I talk about Jurassic World, I've always wanted to see this film, the second film of Jurassic Park, the Jurassic Park series, what it was titled after, The Lost World, one of the earliest stop-motion animation films, and I've been meaning to watch it for many years, and they actually had this really cool release of it. A lot of different special features on here, including deleted scenes, which is like incredible. The fact that there's a film from 1925 for how many films are missing and lost from 1925 and, you know, the early 20s in general. It's crazy that there's a release here that's like, yo, we got deleted scenes from the 20s. It's crazy. And we have Candyman here. So this is, of course, the new films coming out. This was actually a Patreon request, which I am catching up on them, and I'll be discussing this one very soon. And I've never seen it. It's just another, iconic horror movie that led to a bunch of other sequels that I hear kind of mixed things about. But the first one I hear very good things about. And what's interesting here is they actually have the theatrical cut and the unrated cut, but if you look in the bottom for like the runtimes, both are listed as 99 minutes. So exactly like what's different with the unrated cut, I imagine it's just got to be some different, more gorier scenes possibly, or horrific scenes, or just things that weren't going to pass for an R rating back in the 90s, so they cut it down possibly. But I wonder like how different the unrated cut could be. I love Shout that they do that, even if there's very slight differences between the edits. They will release both cuts or more of a film, and you gotta appreciate that, especially when there's 2 discs involved. So lots to dig into with that. Of course, the unrated cut might just be a completely different edit of the film. I don't know, but I'm gonna guess it's just little snippets, similar to Friday the 13th. There's just little snippets that were cut out, and over time they've released them as entire cuts, even though it's really a matter of seconds that were cut out. I have Little Monsters here, which is kind of a forgotten, strange 80s movie that's got Fred Savage and Howie Mandel. So it's like, I've never heard much said about this film except for what I've seen like on YouTube. And this is actually done by Vestron. Vestron has done a number of releases. They don't do as many as like Shout Factory or some of the bigger companies, but still they give a lot of films that don't have a typical release elsewhere, and they release them on Blu-ray. I don't know how many people were really begging for this, but it was weird because even though it's a Vestron release, I found it at Walmart for $7, which wasn't bad at all. I actually have Return of the Living Dead 3. So it's like, yeah, they definitely give some attention to films that otherwise would never get released on Blu-ray, like Little Monsters, like Return of the Living Dead 3. And I have another Patreon request film here, Waking Ned Devine. This does not have a Blu-ray release. I know nothing about this movie, and I don't know if I want to learn more about it. Maybe I'll just give it a watch and see what happens, because sometimes that's the best way to go in. Finally, a comedy that will make you feel like $1 million. Well, it's a comedy. And then last but not least, I got some interesting releases here. So I have coming straight from, as the studio's called, Creative Studios. This is Bram Stoker's Van Helsing, with some pretty great images on the back. This is released by High Flyers Films, the DVD releases. And then here is Claw, which, there's a dinosaur. So I could probably watch this right after The Lost World. I'll watch Claw. This is from Just One More Productions, and basically these releases here, these were both released, actually given to me by Alliance Entertainment, which is a distributor. They actually reached out to me about sending me some DVDs, and I gotta say, I like that they came with slipcovers, and this is some pretty interesting stuff. And once I give them a watch, I'll let you know, either through a video or through Instagram, but you will definitely hear my thoughts on both of these films at some point. But thank you so much, Alliance Entertainment. I love adding some different things to my collection, especially films that otherwise I would never hear about. 81 minutes for this one, and 86 minutes for this one, so they're both under 90 minutes. Or as I like to call it, the perfect runtime of a film. 90 minutes or under. Well, that's everything this week, so I held off doing a video for a while, but if I want to climb up to Monday Movie Pickup 100, I better start doing a few more of these. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching the video, and special shout out to Lauren, Anthony, Anna, Kirsten, Spencer, Lucas, Ryan, and Robert for supporting me on Patreon. By joining my Patreon, you can get exclusive blogs and videos, and for just $7, you can get your own monthly movie review. I hope you stick around, cinephile, and have a happy, productive day.